I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Om Yedharama Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Swaha Om Yedharama Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Swaha Om Yedharama Hetu Prabhava Sham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Swaha. Okay, now we turn to, I don't know whether it's the same page, page number 212. Last time we read the compilation of the passages on dependent origination and emptiness. The compilation, dependent origination and emptiness. Last time we read that. Just check it.
208.
208. Okay, we'll read these. Marilla, this book is going to be for the individuals.
Yes.
They'll take themselves. Very good. So this book takes me like 12 years to compile this. 12 years. I was 12 years younger then. Right? Okay, so this book is not something ready-made. Somewhere from there, then we published this. It was like 12 years. And I did mention this to you. Oh no, not about the book, but about this short compilation, this book. Since I started to translate for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness gave many teachings on very important selected texts, short texts. And some of them the English translations are readily available, I gathered, and those which were not available, I translated myself, just sometimes overnight, sometimes 2 days before, and then for example, the Nagarjuna's Mula Madhya Karika, the fundamental wisdom, the middle wave, the classic text, which we included here, about 6 chapters, selected 6 chapters, of which His Holiness teaches usually the 4 chapters. There are about 27 chapters. From this, His Holiness picks up, or he selects 7 no, the 4. Then we added the first chapter plus the 25th chapter, and even these, to translate for His Holiness, first have to make sure that there's English translation. If there is, I have to make sure that the translation is good. And when the translation is not good, again, I had to redo the translation. So this is how this book gradually came up, meaning that I was gathering all these materials which I they gathered and translated myself and so forth, and then later on came to feel that this would be wonderful if we can put them into one and make it a book. Then later on, included more text which I found would be very helpful for the people here, and because we have very short time. Otherwise, there's one page on emptiness, written by Lama Tsongkhapa, very concise on emptiness. Again, I included that one page. Actually, the whole book is huge. From there, one page, very concise, complete. I brought this also there. So there we see that there are many of them coming up, and then one of my friends. First, it was just about like 5 or 6 years. Then I told my friend that it took me so long. My friend said that, Geshe, don't be perfectionist. Don't be perfectionist, then book will never come out. You must publish it, and then you can still rework on this. And then, but I was never happy. Now he's very true. 12 years gone, still not published. So luckily what happened was that with the help of very brilliant people who were doing the Nalanda Master's course, Tibet House, we conduct 2 courses. One is for 4 years and one is for 1 year. Nalanda Diploma course 1 year, Nalanda Master's course for 4 years. So some of the students from those and who are in Delhi, very bright people, they really helped me to edit, and the English is so good. Indians, English is very high standard. So they helped us greatly. Finally, to the end, and notes, glossaries, they all came out now. So now, once I return, it will be ready for a proper publication, the formal publication. So even this is not yet properly published. So probably yours one is not published yet. So proper publication happened once all this. So this is 12 years of effort of come together, many hands involved, and particularly the many teachings, that root text on the basis of which His Holiness gave the teachings. Okay, and then in the end there's one section which is on the staircase to emptiness. Staircase to emptiness, a very simple, easy manual for the meditation emptiness. And then there are the remarks. Don't miss the remarks written there. 10 questions, 10 answers, and about like 7 or 8 remarks. These remarks are so important. Remarks are the guides to take us to the nuances of emptiness. Okay, so the staircase to emptiness is in the end. What we do is that 208 is the page. Okay, we'll read this. We read this before. We'll read it once more and see if we can read that. Okay, let us not be too ambitious that after the retreat, then every day you read this. No, let us not be too ambitious. If you can, I would be very happy. But if you can't, if you cannot, still I would be very happy if you could read on a weekly basis, if not monthly basis. And a yearly basis, I'm not too sure. Yeah, no, monthly basis would be good enough, right? And if you can read it on a weekly basis, I would be very happy, extremely happy. Finally, that the seed of the wisdom of the emptiness must be invoked within you. That will liberate us. That will free us. Okay, with that in mind, let's recite, and where necessary, then I'll explain. Okay, let's read together. Gift of Youth, Ratna Sutra. Manjushri, whoever listens, even with doubt in this teaching on emptiness, generates much greater merit than a bodhisattva who, lacking skill in means, practices the 6 perfections for 100,000 aeons. This being so, what need is there to say anything about a person who listens to this teaching without doubt? What need is there to say anything about a person who imparts the scripture in writing, memorizes it, and also teaches it thoroughly and extensively to others? The treasury of the One Thus Gone Sutra. Any person who possessing all these 10 great non-virtues enters into the teaching of the selflessness and has faith and conviction that all phenomena are from the beginning pure of true existence, does not go to a bad rebirth. Chapter on Subduing Devil Sutra. If any bhikshu realizes that all phenomena are absolutely pacified of inherent existence, at the beginning of the defilements is devoid of self-nature, is also not remove the guilt of having defilements and make unstable the defilements, thus deeming even the immeasurable negativities dysfunctional, let alone the secondary wrongs done associated with ethics and rituals. Aradevas 40 verses on the middle way. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this dharma of ultimate reality. Should an inquiry ever arise in someone, it will shatter samsara into pieces. Acharya Dharmakirti's commentary in valid cognition. Okay, this is not there. So, what is next? Acharya Chandrakirti's entry in the middle way. Even as an ordinary being, when hearing about emptiness, if one experiences within an utter joy again and again, tears flow from such pure joy, moisten one's eyes, and one's hair stands on end. One is the seed of the wisdom of full awakening. Upali requested sutra. The various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling golden for none of these is their creator. They are posited by the power of thought. It is through conceptualization that the world is imputed. Bhikkhuni Vajira's utterance in the Fundamental Vehicle Sutra. The mind is demonic, which views the true self. You have a wrong view. These composition aggregates are empty. There is no being in them. Just the one doesn't parts. So we assert a conventional sentient being in dependence upon the aggregates. Our Venerable Shavara's writings. Searching for reality throughout space, one finds not the periphery nor the center. All perception sees completely. Likewise, through a thorough search of mind and phenomena, one finds not even an atom of essence. Since the searching mind is not found, not seeing anything is seeing the reality. Saint Sarah's writings. By entering into emptiness but devoid of compassion, one will not find the supreme power. By meditating upon compassion alone, one will not attain liberation but remain in samsara. The one capable of grasping the unit of the two will not remain in samsara, nor abide in personal nirvana. King of Concentration Sutra. Just as in the dream of a young girl, she met with a boy and saw his death. Joyous was she at a meeting, and anguish at his death. View all phenomena as thus. Aranigarjuna's Fundamental Wisdom of the Middle Way. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions leads to nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptual thought. They arise mental elaborations grasping at true existence. Elaboration ceases by or into emptiness. Neither the aggregates nor different from the aggregates. Aggregates don't depend on them, nor is he dependent on them. The Tathagata does not possess the aggregates. What is the Tathagata? That which is dependent originates is posited to be empty of independent existence. That being dependently designated is the middle way. Since there is no phenomenon that is not dependently originated, therefore there is no phenomenon that is not empty. Aranigarjuna's precious garland. If the person is not earth, not water, not fire, not air, not space, not also consciousness, and not of all of them, where is the person out of those? Just as a person is truly, because of being an aggregation of the 6 elements, each element also is not truly existent, as they are aggregations of their own constituents. What is the next? Okay, Dharma Samgiti Sutra. A form appears as mass of form, feelings resemble bubbles in water, and discrimination is like a mirage. Mental formations are like planted trees. Consciousness is like a magical illusion, so taught the Surya Maitreya. Nagarjuna's commentary on on the awakening mind or the Bodhicitta. Those who understand this phenomena,
yet also conform to the law of karma and its results, that is more amazing than amazing.
As is more wondrous than wondrous.
Arideva's 400 verses on the middle way. When dependent arising is seen,
Ignorance does not occur. Thus, through all efforts, try to find the sought object.
His Holiness the Seventh Dalai Lama's Rain Shower feeds a song of the four mindfulnesses as a guide to the view of the middle way. At the crossroads of the six collections of consciousness that have diverse perceptions are seen the hazy dualistic phenomena which are baseless. There is a magical show that is by nature deceptive. Don't believe them to be true, but view them as having this nature of emptiness. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it within the nature of appearance emptiness. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within the nature of appearance and emptiness. The sphere of appearing and existing phenomena is pervaded by the space of ultimate clear light of suchness. There is an infallible view this nature of emptiness through abandoning mental contrivances. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it within an ambience of reality. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within that ambience of reality. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's prayer for proliferating the Dhamma, the land of snows. Venerable Marba Lozawa, Shebe Dorji, and so on. The host of the precious Kagyu, the sources of blessings, the chain of the unexcelled masters of this outstanding tradition. To you all I pray, may the Buddha Dhamma, the land of snows, bless forevermore. All phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are but the radiance of spontaneous awareness. Awareness itself, devoid of elaborations, is realized in the nature of Dharmakaya. Pervading all existences and appearances of samsara and nirvana is the great Mahamudra. May the Buddha Dhamma of the land of the snows bless forevermore. Aranigarjunas in praise of Dharmadhatu. Impermanent, suffering, and empty. These three, they purify the mind. A Dharma that is unsurpassed in purifying the mind is a lack of intrinsic nature. Concluding prayer from Lama Tsongkhapa's Ocean Reasoning, a commentary on Aranigarjuna's fundamental wisdom of the middle way. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origination in particular, even in the course of my life. Okay, with folded hands. Shiri Heruga, Shiri Heruga, Shiri Heruga. He is the selflessness of phenomena, the emptiness of the mind, which is the source of everything, as it is imputed of a causal nature. Ru is the selflessness of person, the emptiness of the self that is fabricated by verbal conceptual thought that grasps the self of person. Ka is the ultimate reality, the absence of the dissonant duality of subject and object. Shri is the non-dual exalted wisdom that abides in congruence with the emptiness of the object. This is the meaning of Evam. Okay, the text that I'm talking about is the next page. Arcane Reality in Madhyamika philosophy. So this is the text. Is just this extract is just about one page. One page is a very complete understanding of emptiness. Yet, of course, it's quite technical. We don't have time to go through this, but keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, and in future, if there's a possibility, we will do it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there are several things I'd like to wind up the concept of emptiness for this retreat. Okay. First, we'll turn to page 4 of this, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhicittas, page 4. Page 4. This stanza, the independent origination, there is no ceasing nor arising. This stanza is extremely precious. This is the word of salutation by Aranigarjuna to the Buddha Shakyamuni. And Aranigarjuna, his compositions And of course we see that his compositions, his compositions, there are two kinds. One is on the philosophy and the other is the praises. One, the philosophy on emptiness, other is more the praises. The praises to the Buddha. The praises Buddha, of course again the Arjuna is going to the praises to the Buddha on the basis of the Buddha's having taught emptiness and dependent origination. This one part. The genre of praises and the genre of the philosophical position, philosophical teachings too. And of the philosophical teachings, there are six, and the classic, the root, the most important one is known as the Mula Madhyamika Karika. Mula Madhyamika Karika, the fundamental wisdom of the middle way. And some people call it the root wisdom or fundamental wisdom of the middle way. And there, Arjuna, they praise the Buddha Shakyamuni or made salutation to Buddha Shakyamuni. And this is stanza. This stanza, independent origination, there's no thing. But by the way, in this book, do you see the end, the number there? Or there's end of this number 6. So you have to go to the end note. The description will be there, but not now. Not now. Later. Okay. So the idea is that this came from the sources, Arjuna-Arjuna's Mula Madhyamika Karika, and the word of salutation to the Buddha. If you understand this fully, then you have understood the Buddha's teachings. This stanza is a very compact version of the Buddha's teachings. Okay, I'll explain this very quickly. What we learned, so in order to unfold this one particular stanza, we need a whole lot of information, a whole lot of studies. Okay, given that we studied on emptiness the last 5 days, what we learned is that emptiness and dependent origination, these are the two sides of the same coin. You remember? Yes. Emptiness, dependent origination, these are the two sides of the same coin, saying that emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. Emptiness is the meaning of dependent origination, number 1. Number 2, dependent origination means the middle way. Therefore, emptiness is the middle way. This is how we began. I think day 2 we did that. Now, with this information, we see that the first line is independent origination. What is a dependent origination? One side, other side is emptiness. Dependent origination means by dependence on the subjective mind. Dependence on the subjective mind. Everything operates, everything exists. Where? On the subjective level, nothing on the objective existence, nothing on the objective level, nothing on the ultimate domain. Everything exists on the conventional domain, right? It's not that by meditating on emptiness, then suddenly the reality changes, reality moves from the object to the subject, right? No, reality operates. But it is only a deception that the reality, while the reality is operating, we have been seeing this operating on the objective level. That is the misperception. And this misperception is creating problem. It is not the reality which is creating problem, the misperception of the reality is creating problem for us. So what is that misperception? Seeing everything operating on the objective level, on the ultimate level. So that misperception is known as the self-grasping ignorance. And this self-grasping ignorance, seeing things operating on the objective level, then the problems are created. Sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, everything arises from this wrong discrimination, from this wrong discrimination. From this wrong discrimination, unpleasant feelings arises, contaminated pleasant feelings arise, and then the intention arises. Intention is the karma. Our actions arise from this. Look, this is so beautiful psychology and philosophy. This is what the Buddha taught. It's so empirical. This is what we can actually literally see with our own. You just probe a little bit into this analysis, you will see that what the Buddha said is so true. We do not need the basic belief the foundation blind faith required. No need at all. It's so empirical, so common sense, it's so profound. Okay, so with this, if you look at particularly the things which things that we see, so object real, everything in the daytime, in the nighttime, in sleep, dream, every way we see things are so object real. Okay, amongst these things, what can really fluctuate, what can really stir our emotions? Stir emotions. If you examine the morning, after the morning prayers, I was walking up, and then Maria accompanied me. And Maria said, "Oh, what a beautiful sunshine! Again, today we have a wonderful sunshine." So there's such a joy in us to see beautiful sunshine. And I added, saying that even the leaves are glittering, right? Fresh air, the leaves are literally, the leaves are glittering. Okay, so look, when we see something rising, right? Good things rising, there's a joy coming in you, right? And good things rising, did you make it? No, it happened there, and that it affects us. Then the emotional state rises up, so light and joy. And it's very likely November, December in Finland here, November, December, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, becomes dark, gloomy, cold, damp. Your mind also goes down like this. Look how the external factors, they affect us. We have no freedom. We have no freedom. We're like a small children. Give a toy, so happy, take away the toy. It's so like whole world is shattered. This is exactly, what's happened to us. The morning sunlight is there. Your spirit simply gets uplifted. And then the sun sets like 3 o'clock. In England, I remember Cambridge, when I was in Cambridge, from the college, Garden College, I always go for my English lesson in studio school. It was, by bus, I have to go like about half an hour or 20 minutes. And then, to my surprise, it was, I think, like December, 3:30, already dark, gloomy, cold, damp. And already just 3:30. And then nobody was talking to each other. Every pin drop silent. So sad. Terrible. Look, this is how our mind is so easily affected by external factors. We are so weak. We are so weak. We are so vulnerable. Vulnerable meaning that we don't have the freedom. We don't have the freedom not to feel weak. We don't have the freedom not to feel vulnerable. This is loss of freedom, misery. Okay, so from this we see that good things arise, it simply uplifts the spirit. Good things see, you feel so sad. And say the near and dear ones, somebody who loves you so much, passes away. What a pain, acute pain, it simply breaks your heart. And there are stories, very, very touching stories, very, very painful stories. Okay, so there was a boy who was autism, suffering from autism, and the mother loves the boy so much. The mother loves the son so much, and the son was autistic. And the mother, one day, what is that? The apocalypse? What is that?
Epilepsy.
Huh?
No.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is the ending of the world. Apocalypse.
Thomas, say it again.
Apocalypse.
What is the meaning?
Ending of the world.
Ending of the world, right? So once it becomes so the viral, it went so viral, saying that apocalypse happening to 2012. Do you remember that? You've forgotten that. 7 years before. Oh, forgot it.
According to the Maya calendar,
Yes. So the information, this incident happened. This incident happened way before 2000. Way before 2000. 1999, 2000, 2001, like this. And then the apocalypse happening 2012, and everybody scared. Actually, it's false alarm, right? Everybody's scared. And this mother of this autistic child, the mother was so happy. Usually she was, always with the child, cannot really go out. Hearing this news, apocalypse, where everybody's going down, she's uplifted. So happy. So why are you so happy? Because there's going to be the apocalypse happening 2012. Apocalypse happening. What's good about it? Then me and my son will die together. Right? So that I don't have to worry about my son. What'll happen to my son after me? I will not have to worry. We'll die together. Okay, this is mother's love. And each one of us, although we have description that my mother's not kind, my mother's like this, my mother's like this, right? If I listen to you, okay, if you have a good description, I have nothing to say. If you have bad description, I'm not saying that you are wrong, but we are not remembering the situation when the mother, when each of your mother, 85% of the mothers, if such a course was conducted, let's imagine when you were age 2, 3, 4, 5, and your mothers were all here, and the teaching was happening, and the teacher asked the mother, all these mothers, right? What is the most beautiful day in your life? They will say that when my child was born, when my Emilia was born, right? When my daughter, very young daughter Emilia, beautiful Emilia, she was born. I'm a twin. And then when my young, very beautiful, active Thomas was born, right? When the beautiful, amazingly cute Willie was born. Yes, Willie? Yes, this is how all the mothers describe. Their mothers describe like you, right? Now you don't describe your mother like this. You describe your children, right? Your mother's forgotten. Your mother's described you as the most beautiful one, right? And you are describing your children as the most beautiful one. Now we have to revolutionize that. Revolutionize. It doesn't mean that forget about your children. Your children is so important. Your children is so important. But we have to revolutionize. Revolution is one way. How we are doing is exactly what Charles Darwin said. It's just for the species to exist. That's it. Right? Not for you to improve. Not for you to reach the state of fearlessness and infinite happiness. But for species to exist. That's it. This is how we behave. This is a total animal instinct. Whereas what the Buddha said is not just for species to exist, but for you to achieve infinite happiness, for you to achieve fearlessness. Finally, to be very honest, all of us, when we were born, day one we were born, we all cried. How did we cry? We never cried that, okay, in future I will have a child, my child will not have I'm worried about. No, we did not cry like this. We all cried saying that I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, somebody slapped me. I have this problem, I have the pain. This is how we are born, right? This is how we are born. So now the Buddha is talking about the mind. Charles Darwin is talking about the body. Species, continuation of species is the continuation of your body. Continuation of your body. And the Buddha is talking about your mind. And you improve your mind, and this is the greatest legacy for your children. Children will have a very happy mind. Okay, this is the difference. With this in mind, what I'm saying is that when good things arise, you are very happy. When the good things cease, it's so gloomy, sad, you're heartbroken. Bad things arise, it's traumatic. and bad things cease, you are so happy. World War started, so much a problem. World War ended, so much of joy, right? Okay, and then in some cases, the two nations, the two places, they become one. No, it should not become one. These were two different nations. We are separate, we are separate. And some say, no, we are one. East Germany, West Germany. No, we should be united. We should be one. We are one. We are one. Right? Some fight for difference, separation. Some fight for oneness. And then say, when a friend leaves the place, you are very sad. When a friend comes, you are very happy. When a child comes, you are very happy. When a child leaves, you are very sad. Right? And when a difficult person leaves, you are very happy, lucky. When a difficult person, again the day starts. Right? Okay, so look, these are the phenomena, say, and then when we see that the nasty neighbor, he left altogether, annihilated from this place, annihilated, you're very happy, right? Oh, now this neighbor is going to be permanently here, very unhappy. There are 8 phenomena, there are 8 characteristics which govern, which dominate the arising, stirring of emotions. So these 8 phenomena, they're operating where? Operate on the conventional level, dependent origination level. So, which means in dependent origination, the two sides, dependent origination and emptiness. In dependent origination, these 8 phenomena, they're operating. Then what is the other side? Emptiness, emptiness, objective existence. On the objective level, on the ultimate level, none of these 8 are operating. So when you see these 8 phenomena, you don't see these 8 phenomena in the dependent origination level. We see this as ultimate. So when you see that, and because of which then all emotions are stirred. Ultimately these 8 are not there. Then what triggers the emotional stirs? Stop. Emotional stirs stop. And then you get a total freedom. Your emotions are, the disturbance stops. What's the opposite of disturbance? Peace, absolute peace comes to you. Okay, so there, this stanza I'd like to explain it. In dependent origination, where things are dependent originated, these 8 phenomena are operating. What are they? Ceasing, arising. There is no ceasing, no arising, meaning that the one side is dependent origination, other side is the emptiness of objective existence. On the ultimate domain, in the conventional domain, they operate. On the ultimate domain, there is no ceasing, no arising, 2 phenomena, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. This is reality. If you know that these 8 phenomena, they're all coming from your mind, nothing from the object, then all the mental fluctuations, emotional fluctuations, disturbance will stop. Okay, who taught this phenomena? Okay, so what happens is that these eight phenomena on the basis of which our emotional fluctuations emotions happen, sadness, depression, anger, then the craving, and all these happen, they dissolve automatically, seeing that these 8 phenomena which trigger these emotional states, they are actually not really from the object, they all come from your mind. Okay, let's say that how many of you had a dream, and the dream affected you, very frightening dream. Raise your hands. Okay, very frightening dreams. You are afraid. You are afraid? Why were you afraid? This is not real. That is not real. We see them as real, right? And it's just your mental, you have created this, right? You have created this. Okay, now, close your eyes and do one exercise. Close your eyes. And imagine a very scary ghost. Imagine a very scary ghost. Okay, open your eyes. Instead of being scared, you're all smiling. You may imagine a very scary ghost and you're smiling. Right? Okay, tell me, this scary ghost, who created this? You create this. You create this and you're smiling. It's very scary actually. But instead of scaring you, you're smiling. I see the many of you are smiling. You're getting it? Why were you smiling? Why are you not scared?
Well, I'm aware now that...
Because I'm aware that I am projecting this. You're getting it? You're getting it? When you're aware that you're projecting it, it will not affect you. It will not affect you. On the contrary, the dreams affect you, yes? Dreams are purely your creation. Do you agree with me? Your dreams are purely your creation. You created that, and it affects you. Whereas the scary ghost that I asked you to imagine, it does not scare you. Why? The dream, the difference is, the dream goes first, the process, look at this process, is so important. Dream goes, first what happens is that your mind projects the dream ghost. Do you agree with me or not? You project it. Number 2, you are unaware that you're projecting. You are unaware that you're projecting. You're getting it? Step number 2. Step number 3. Because you projected it, you are unaware that you are projecting it, you see it as from the object. Thomas, listen. You project it, number 1. What's number 2? What is number 2? You are unaware that you are projecting it, number 2. Number 3, because you are unaware, you believe, you apprehend it to be objectively real. Because you are not aware that it's subjectively real. Because you see that you are unaware of the process, you see it as from the object. The moment you see it as from the object, then it affects you. It affects you. Because it affects you, you react. You're getting it? Okay, let me say this again. What's the first? Your mind projects the dream, number 1. What's the number 2? You are unaware that you are projecting it. What's number 3? Then you see it as real, objectively real. What's number 4? Because you see it objectively real, it starts to affect you. Because it starts to affect you, then you start reacting. Because you react, this is action. Then the whole scenario started. Whole suffering started. Thomas, you have a question?
I claim that was just lack of concentration and imagination with people. If they would think about mutilated and twisted forms of their loved ones in some kind of extermination camp with very gloomy weather, I would think they would get very, very sad and
okay. Thomas,
your point can be refuted,
No.
People just thought some silly ghosts and things like that.
Thomas, I don't hear anything what you're saying. There must be a reason why you're saying this. Right?
I'm saying
listen.
You can really create very, very...
Listen, Thomas. No, Thomas, first listen. What I'm saying, I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to listen to, but you said it's all the 5 sentences in one row.
Okay.
I could not follow it.
Okay.
What are you saying? Tell me.
I said that it was...
Slowly, first sentence.
People smiled because they had a lack of imagination and concentration. If they would have thought instead of silly ghosts,
silly ghosts or
they thought in their head some silly ghosts or something like that, like completely imaginary. But if they would think about demons that look like their loved ones in the twisted and mutilated form in some very dark circumstances, and they would really put thought onto it, they would get, like very agitated.
I don't know.
But you are not in others before mind, so speak for yourself, please.
No, it doesn't matter.
Why you lost?
Somebody. Okay, just somebody. Can somebody the paraphrase what Thomas is saying?
I think Thomas was saying that because we don't really believe in ghosts as such, so that's why it makes us smiling. But if we were imagining like a real things happen. Okay. I will
Okay. Say when I go, okay, did you notice that when I was sharing about my mother's story, I become really emotional, right? But now, if I imagine, I just create imagination that my mother's here, and suddenly my mother collapsed. I can imagine it, my collapse, and then okay, my mother died. No, it doesn't affect me because I know that it's not true. Whereas that part, which I'm retrieving the memories, that happened in reality. Whereas I know that that is the reality with respect to me, and this is a pure imagination. I know that. You're getting it? Okay. So this is something this is something. Thomas, I'd like to suggest you before you say something, just see if you can really put yourself in someone else's mind. Someone else's mind. You can imagine, say, somebody who you love so much. Right? Or if you don't have somebody who you love so much, somebody who you hate somebody or who you dislike somebody, and imagine this person right now here is dead. Right? Will you be happy? There's nothing to be happy about because it's not real. You're getting it? But what you said is true. What you said is true. I'm saying this. True to some extent because it is said in the text, the Madhyamika Avatar of Acharya Chandrakriti, where Acharya Chandrakriti said that these things you can have a dream, and the remnants of the dream, you wake up, and then you still cling on to the dream. These things can happen. This Acharya Chandrakriti says, these are the unwise people, below average people, people whose thinking is below average. So whereas average people with the dream, they will not feel lashed on to waking up. In the dream, you will lash onto the object, but in waking up, you will not lash on the object, knowing that it's just a dream. But then there are one or two person who can still latch onto the dream with the whatever experiences, anger, lust, or whatever these things can happen. So that is the people of the low intellect. Is very less number. Okay, good. So what we learned is that step number 1, the dream. First, let's work on the dream. We create the dream. We project the dream. Number 2, we're unaware that we are projecting it. Number 3, because of that, we see it as objectively real. What we call as real, objectively real. Then number 4, because it seems objectively real, then that we think that it is affecting us. We think that it is affecting us. Number 5, then we react. That's action. Then everything started. Okay. How many of you know how the dream is, the mechanism of the dream formation? How many of you notice that? Notice that? How the dream is being formed?
Yeah.
How?
So, like in the dark and then, like slowly, it's like coming up to about, and then you're in the dream.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't know whether my experience is something to be universally the truth. But I was observing how the dream occurs.
It's without perceptions in a way. Of course, if you hear something, it can come into the dream and make.
No, this is not my question.
Okay.
My question is, say, how the food is prepared. How the food is prepared. First you put the oil, then this, how the dream comes into being. Not, early imprints, not the early imprints, what you talked in the daytime, suddenly in the nighttime, the dreams happen. That is different. How the dream, from the scratch, is coming, like this, how the dream.
It probably connects to the feelings.
No, don't say properly, I'm asking you experience. You're getting it? Okay. So in my case, I was observing. Sometimes I had very difficult sleeping. I could not sleep. I could not fall asleep. So then the more I think, the more I get distracted. No sleep. The sleep is totally disrupted. So I try not to think. Not to think means, luckily I was not going to blank. I was just observing the thought process. Observing thought process. Now I'm pretty expert on this. Expert meaning, not in a good sense, that if I feel that, okay, I'm not falling asleep, so I try to somehow make myself fall asleep. So then when certain procedures happen, then okay, now I'm lucky, now I'm falling asleep. In that sense. Okay, so what happened was that observing the mind, and first it was a very blank, smooth screen, white screen. Just keep observing. Then this smooth white screen, it becomes like a matted meaning rough. And before that, there are other indications also. The indications there. Then from this rough surface will take the shape of a nose, eyes, lips, and then when a certain shape is created, not full body, just a face, parts of the face coming up, popping like this, then this mouth will start talking to you, talking to you, and then I know that this is just a dream, that this is just my thought, imagination. And then it will become more on proper shape comes out the face, and then the proper body comes out and talking to you, and then, okay, no need to respond, this is just my imagination. And then it becomes so aggressive, how dare you stupid guy, like this, talking so nastily, then I become so angry, how dare you talk like this, you slipped into dream. Finish, you're sucked into dream. Okay, this is how the dream occurred. So initially I was aware. And then the moment I reacted, I was sucked up into dream. So in the process, even after reacting, my mind is constantly projecting. Like this, the way the movie is projected. You are watching a movie in Finland. What's the duration of the movie?
2.5 hours, 2 hours. Same as everywhere. Yeah.
Huh?
2 hours.
Okay, let's 2 hours. For 2 hours, the movie projector is busy. Do you agree with me? The movie projector is busy behind you. 2 hours busy. If it stops for 1 second, the movie here will be stopped. So likewise, so the dreaming mind is busy. If the dream lasts for 10 minutes or 1 hour, the dreaming mind is very busy projecting the dream. Right? This is very busy projecting the dream. Very busy. It's purely a mental projection. Your mind project, you are unaware. Number two, your mind is unaware that you are projecting it. Because you are unaware, you see it as real from the object. You see it as real, then when it's nice, you feel happy. When it's not nice, you feel unhappy. Because unhappiness and happiness, then you react. You react. Okay, this is a process. Likewise, with our naked eyes, we project water. With the electron microscope, we project electrons, protons, neutrons. Okay, now you're using your conventional analysis, your naked eyes. What are you seeing? Water. Actually, it is your mental projection. Your mind is projecting a water there. If you look, if it is water, the way it appears to your mind, remove your conventional analysis, it should still be water. But it is not. The moment this object is cut off from your mind, conventional analysis that negatives, this to be water makes no sense. So the water that you are seeing is purely projection of your mind. You are projecting it. But are you aware that you are projecting it? Are you aware that you are projecting it? You look at this thing. You see this water. Are you aware that you are projecting it? No, you are not aware. Because you are not aware, it is seen as objectively real. objective real. And then if it is very hot summer, this will affect you to give make the mouth water. And then you react. Then you react to this. Okay, so this is how, like a dreaming mind continues to project the dream like this. Our mind has been busy. It's a movie projector. I would say in a way it's the most efficient movie projector. Movie projector which never stops, which does not require any machine to oil to continue. It has been projecting things since time immemorial till now, projecting. Actually, we are very tired. But because it is happening every day, every moment, 24/7, we are unaware that this is what is going there. Okay, so when you see emptiness for the first time, why in many cases, when you see emptiness for the first time, what is that mind which sees emptiness? Ultimate analysis, conventional analysis? Ultimate analysis. When your mind, when you're able to see things in a true sense with the lens of the ultimate reality, the ultimate analysis, then for example, just as the water disappears from your sight, water molecule H2 also disappears. Hydrogen, oxygen also disappears. Electrons also disappears. It's not necessary that we have to go one by one, not necessary, right? If you go one by one, there's a benefit. The benefit is incredibly great benefit, but you can just stay there. The moment you go into the hydrogen and oxygen, the atoms, finish, water disappears. There's no water there on that level. There's no water there, right? There's no water there. So now, but I'm seeing water. This was your mind projecting it. Likewise, if you see the electrons, the hydrogen and oxygen, it's also your mind projecting it. In other words, your mind has been projecting all these since eternally till now. Now, if we somehow are fortunate to be able to see emptiness, of course it will never happen automatically. Don't expect that to happen automatically. If something happens automatically, by now it should have happened to everyone. It never happened. It should be through concerted effort. It should be only through concerted effort, through your own effort. The study, even with the most wonderful meditation, Bodhicitta, this emptiness will not come automatically. Even with the most wonderful shamatha practice, this emptiness will not come automatically. Even with the most sophisticated tantric practice, emptiness will never come to you automatically. Without this, whatever practice that you're projecting things and you see the surreal, beautiful shamatha, beautiful bodhicitta, beautiful tantra, beautiful this, beautiful that, you continue to see objectively these things. You are never woken up from the sleep of ignorance. You are never woken up from the sleep of ignorance. Okay, tell me. Pleasant dreams and unpleasant dreams. A dream of a ghost chasing you. Dream of a ghost chasing you, and a dream of you getting a cheesecake from the mother. Two dreams. Which do you like? The mother giving you cheesecake. Tell me, how many of you like to have a dream of His Holiness the Dalai Lama offering a cup of tea for you? How many like to have this dream? Everyone. Okay, my next question. How many will have this dream tonight of His Holiness offering a cup of tea to you? How many of you will have this dream tonight? Why not? It's a very pleasant dream. Huh?
We can try.
No, my question is, how many will try it? This is not my question. My question is, how many of you will have this dream tonight?
No.
Why not?
We can imagine it.
No, imagination dream is different. How many are going to have this dream? Why not? It's a very pleasant dream. It's very nice. Really, we have no choice. You're getting it? Even the pleasant dreams, we have no choice. Tell me, two dreams. Ghost chasing you, dream of ghost chasing you, dream of His Holiness offering a cup of tea to you. two dreams, right? Tell me, there's one thing, a significant thing which is common between these two dreams. Tell me, what's that? Give your own opinions. Speak your mind, quick.
Well, they have been, I'm looking at them as if they are objectively existent.
They're real. In other words, they're real. One. Any more answers? Yes, Robert.
They are both dreams.
Okay, they're both dreams. Anybody else? Yes.
Feelings.
Okay, feelings are triggered. Very good. Anybody else?
They are happening in the space of the mind.
Huh?
They are happening in the space of the mind.
Both of them are happening in the space of your own mind. Anybody else?
We have no choice over them. We have no choice over both of the dreams. They come.
Okay, we cannot choose. We don't have the choice. We don't have the freedom to choose. Okay, so what Robert said, and then what Zarina said, what two of you said, this is a point. Pleasant dream is very pleasant, but the drawback is that we don't have the choice. We don't have the freedom to choose that. This is the drawback of the pleasant dreams, right? Which is better? Okay, say the dream, the ghost, then the dream of His Holiness Dalma offering tea, and the next, the security guard becomes so angry. How dare that you're sitting with His Holiness Dalma for a cup of tea, right? And then pull you, right? Okay, which is best? One, the ghost dream. The next, the having a cup of tea with His Holiness. Speak your mind. Don't be emotional. You're getting it? People tend to mix up the two things, or carried away. Don't be carried away by the emotions. Okay, the dream of the ghost chasing you, dream of His Holiness, offering a cup of tea to you, and you're having a cup of tea with His Holiness. Then the next, the security guard becoming so angry to you, and then next you wake up. Tell me, which is the best?
Waking up, His Holiness with tea.
Huh?
His Holiness offering tea.
Okay, look, this is extremely important. Don't become emotional, don't be carried away by the emotions. Okay, see yourself as somebody who is very, very unbiased, right? Don't be carried away by the emotions, right? Okay. Why did the security showed anger to you? Because of the first dream, right? Because you having a cup of tea with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? So the security became angry. You wake up, no security will become angry towards you. There's no basis, right? There is no basis. The moment you wake up, you are freed from everything of the dream. So even with this pleasant dream, to have a cup of tea with His Holiness is still a dream. It's still a dream. It is contaminated. In what way is contaminated? Is mixed with the ignorance. What ignorance? Seeing it as real. This ignorance. So therefore pleasant, but mixed with ignorance. Therefore it becomes contaminated pleasant. Contaminated happiness. Happiness mixed with ignorance. That is a contaminated happiness. Which is better, contaminated happiness or uncontaminated happiness?
Uncontaminated happiness.
Okay, uncontaminated happiness. So these are things, for example, okay, so the point is that the uncontaminated happiness is when you are not affected by ignorance at all. That is, then the security guard says that, how dare you do like this? And the security guard is about to throw you away. Before he throws you away, your mother wakes you up. Then you feel so relieved. Very pleasant moment. Having a cup of tea with His Holiness is also a dream. The security guard becoming very angry and throwing me away is also my dream. I'm so happy. You just feel so relieved. You're getting it? Okay. Yes.
Can I ask one question? If everything is projection, then why should we care about morality and ethics?
Okay, so this will come later. Okay, this is a very good point. This is a very good point. Okay, I'll do it right away. Again, the time flies. Okay, did you follow the question? Anybody else who likes to repeat the question or paraphrase the question? Whatever you like to do, Robert.
Sometimes in a dream, can it be the subconscious just trying to speak to you? Not just a dream, but some meaning to it too.
Okay. Yes. The dreams. Some are very shallow. Some are very deep. You're getting it? Within the dreams, there are variations. Some are very shallow. Some are very deep. And then, okay, I ask you to imagine a ghost next to you, right? Moving around you in the form of air. You can imagine it, but you are not affected. But some people, their imagination is quite strong. The way the Thomas said, right? They can imagine it and they can be affected, right? And then from tomorrow onwards, it happens all the time, right? Even without thinking, it happens. Actually, it was thinking. Thinking, it is more automatic now, right? Then, oh, this person came and he asked me to do that. Now I'm possessed by the demons, right? Oh, somebody please help me to do purification, do some puja for me. He brought a demon with him. He now left it with me. Now he is every day with me. No, it's just mental construct, right? So some are very deep. So these make you feel that it's so real there. It's not just a dream. Actually, it's a part of the dream. Yeah. Okay. So this question is so good. Okay, Jakob.
Yes.
Okay, Jakob, you want to not ask question. Paraphrase or repeat the question which Karita asked. Yes, here.
If everything is our projection, then why should we care about morality?
Okay.
And ethics.
And ethics. Moral ethics much more the same. Okay, this is a very good question. So there, okay. Thomas, I'm giving the answer. Put down your hands for the time being. You will get a chance to ask question. You're getting it? Why I'm saying.
Well, I would want to give answer, but please give me.
So basically, Thomas, the thing is that when I'm giving answer, if the answer happens to be, because the question is so important, the moment you're doing like this, you are doing like this, you would not listen to me. Then you will not get the answer. You might have the answer already. If you already have the answer, well and good. If you don't have it, you are missing one answer, right? So therefore, you will get chance. Okay. Okay, let's say mental projection and mental imagination, right? Emptiness and nothingness. Dream, dreamlike. Let me say this again. Mental projection and imagination. Then emptiness, nothingness. Then, what do you say? Dream, dreamlike. We have to make these distinctions. Okay, the flower and the imaginary flower. The white flower in my right hand and the imaginary blue flower in my left hand. The white flower is mental projection, it's not imagination. If it is imagination, it defies the law of cause and effect. Whereas imaginary blue flower, it doesn't have, it is just imaginary. Because it is imaginary, it does not follow the cause and effect rule. Whereas this is not imaginary, it is mental projection. So we need to make a distinction between mental projection and mental imagination. Mental imagination, cause and effect does not follow. whereas the mental projection, cause and effect, still operates. One. Next one is emptiness and nothingness. Nothingness means nihilism. Emptiness versus nihilism. In nihilism, cause and effect is defined. In nihilism, there is no cause and effect. Whereas in emptiness, the cause and effect operates. Next one is dreamlike and dream. In dream, cause and effect can be defined. For example, let's say I pick up this flower and suddenly it becomes a chocolate. You're getting it? I pick up this flower and suddenly it becomes a chocolate. It defies the law of cause and effect. Whereas the dreamlike, this flower, unless I have a supernatural power, this flower, as long as it's in my hand, this will not automatically become a chocolate. Right? Law of cause and effect is being followed in the case of dreamlike. So, in other words, what is important is emptiness, mental projection. When you speak of the mental projection, is about the emptiness. From the object, nothing is there, all subjective projection. So, from the object, nothing is there, means everything exists by subjectivity. What is subjectivity? Subjectivity equals conventionality. Conventionality equals dependent origination. So everything is operating through dependent origination. There is nothing independent there, there is nothing objective there. Because it is not objective, it is subjective, subjective projection. Subjective projection equals dependent origination, because emptiness equals dependent origination. Dependent origination means the loss in cause and effect operates there. Results comes into being by dependence on the causes. With the morality, happy results ensue. Right? So therefore we have to take care of the causal factors, because the results, they're not independently there. Results are not objectively there. Results are coming into being, but depends on the causes. It's only dependent origination. There's nothing independent there, there's nothing objective there. So if you see emptiness in the correct way, then this will reinforce our conviction in the law of karma. Whereas by seeing emptiness, if the law of karma is the respect for the law of karma diminishes, we fall into nihilism. It's not emptiness. We can speak about mental projection, but we are only speaking about mental imagination. Mental imagination and mental projection, these two are not synonymous, these two are different. Only if you see mental projection to mean mental imagination, then we fall into nihilism. So there, cause and effect is not operating. There, say the cause, good causes, the six perfections give rise to happiness. Opposite six perfections give rise to miseries. Will follow only in the emptiness concept, dependent origination concept, and the dreamlike concept. Not in the dream, not in nihilism, not in imagination. So this distinction we have to make. In other words, what is the distinction between the nihilism and emptiness? What is the difference between emptiness and nihilism? So nihilism is when we say nothing exists on the conventional level. Emptiness is nothing exists on the ultimate level. Emptiness and nothingness, these two are not the same. Emptiness, we speak about nothing exists in the face of the ultimate domain, ultimately. Whereas nihilism is nothing exists on the conventional domain. This is nihilism. You getting it? These two are not the same. So therefore when we say everything, imagination means nothing exists on the conventional domain. Whereas everything is mental projection, means nothing exists from the object, but everything exists from the subject. Everything exists conventionally. This difference is there. Okay, Thomas.
But there is another form of nihilism. They believe that...
Slowly.
There is another form of nihilism.
Another form of nihilism, okay.
They believe that things exist conventionally, but morals do not exist, or morality, or any source of morality. So how dependent origination can, negate that kind of thinking?
Okay, so let's say this is a very serious question. In fact, I would not say that. I would not jump to saying that these people who believe in this and the philosophy is just nonsense. I would not say that.
Excuse me, can you repeat the question?
Okay. The Thomas, say this slowly. There is another form of
There is another form of
nihilism.
They believe that things do exist conventionally, like physically, but they do not exist that you can establish any source of morality or.
Yes. Okay. Did you follow the question?
Yes.
Okay. What it says is that conventionally, physically, things do exist. Things do exist. But the morality is just what people created. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. This is a very serious question. So this serious question takes us back to 1960s. Okay, how many of you were born in 1960s? Okay, this is the wrong question. How many of you are not born in 1960s? How many of you are not born in 1960s? Not born in 1960s. Again, this is also a wrong question. Okay, how many are born? How many are born? How many had no experience in the 1960s?
Own experience.
Okay. Nana wants to be young. Yeah, you are young. Yeah, you are young. Karita, you have no experience in the 1960s. You were born in 1980s.
74.
Okay. 74. Okay, let's say those who are born after 70, raise hands. Those who are born after 70. Okay, so those who are born after 70, I don't think you have this concept of the hippies. Do you know the hippies? Huh? The Thomas, Robert, they only heard about hippies. They don't know what is hippies.
I think in Goa, I think in many places in India there are still hippies.
No.
Hippies left. No?
Yeah, this is just the remnants. The real hippies is amazing. It's amazing. Real hippies is amazing. Now what you see is hippies, are baby hippies. And they are not the real hippies. Real hippies, there's a philosophy there.
Charles Manson and his family was also hippies.
Listen. Okay. So in other words, listen, Thomas, now I'm giving answer to your question. Okay. So for example, let's say, for a very important occasion, for a very formal gathering, everybody should come with the ties, right? Okay, then you come with some kind of scarf, like wrap around your neck. This is a tie. No, this is not a tie, right? This is a very standard tie. Why this is standard? Why this is not standard? If you ask this question, there's no answer, right? So this they say that this is an etiquette, dress code. Why this dress code is nice? Why this is not nice, right? If you ask this question deeply, there's no answer. It's purely convention, purely convention. Then if this is the case, then say you just caress somebody versus you punch somebody, right? One is good, one is bad. It's purely convention. Then you can punch everybody. No, these two conventions are very different. Where you punch somebody and you caress somebody, you give some chocolates, and the other one put on this tie and just wrap the piece of cloth around you. This is pure convention. But the other is also convention. But the other one is related to feelings, direct feelings. Finally, what is the measure? What is the benchmark which governs whether it's good or bad? There's no intrinsic quality there to say that this is good, this is bad. What injures the feelings? That is bad. What heals the feelings? That is good. Right? And then within that, say injuring the feeling immediately and healing the feeling long term. Again, long term versus short term healing. long-term healing is good, and short-term, as compared to long-term, is not good. So all these considerations, finally, it boils down to the feelings, which determines what is morality, what is not morality. You getting it? So whereas those people, the hippies, what they are talking about is a very profound philosophy. Very profound philosophy. We cannot outrightly say that it's just a stupid thing. No. But amongst the hippies, there are many who do not really know why they are doing like this. There are only, out of 1,000 hippies, only 2 or 3 people, they really understand the hippie philosophy. The remaining 99, they simply want to indulge. Yeah, they simply don't want to, say be in the community. That's it. That's it. But only 1 or 2 hippies, they really know the philosophy of hippies. Okay, good. It's a little digression. Now, going back. Okay, going back. Oh yes, the Jacob, you have a question.
Oh, okay, to ask one.
Yes.
Okay, just a minor question. That if you realize emptiness, and if you realize also there's no independent self, and it's also an illusion in this way, then who is realizing?
Okay.
Who is having the profound things, and who is experiencing?
This is a very good question. This is very good. Did you all follow the question? It was when I was, I think 19 or 20 years old, when I first joined my monastery, Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, which is one of the best days in my life, Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, Dharamsala. So there, one of my teachers, Venerable Geshe, who was a hermit. There, the story I told you. I told you, not told you? No? It doesn't matter. Okay, now we have no time. Okay, so he was in the up on the high hill, and then the hills, and I was in the town, in the monastery, close to the town. And then on Sundays, I had to go to translate for him, and the American students were waiting there, and I had to go to translate for him. And from there up there, I had to rush. Usually it takes about like 1 hour, and then me being very young, and I did not have the time because the morning prayers are there in the monastery, and then sometimes the prayers, the Sunday prayers, they should be supposed to be finishing by 7:30. It takes me like 8:30. It extends to 8:30. Then I've only about like 20 minutes to rush to the place there. So I go so fast, and at times almost like every Sunday. Then I feel a little, what do you call it, exhausted, tired, and then I learn a little bit about emptiness. If everything is empty, if everything is just like illusion, why don't I imagine that I'm there in the retreat place, and the person who wants to come down can think that I'm there in the town, we exchange, right? And I'm there, suddenly there. Why not? It's not. Why it is not happening? This is my question, right? If everything is illusion-like, if even including self is illusion-like, who's thinking then? Who's thinking that I'm illusion-like? Who's thinking? What is that person? Okay. This is the illusion-like person thinking of the person to be illusion-like. This is a person. In fact, let's not forget that the 2 main sentences, how we began the emptiness concept. Do things exist?
Yes.
Answer is yes. The self exists. Yes, self exists. The person exists. What's the second question? Only if you say yes to the first question, then you are entitled to go to answer the second question. Second question, do things exist objectively? Answer is no. Then it takes you to emptiness, not the first one. If you say the self does not exist, it's illusion, then you fall into nihilism. Self does exist. Self exists. How does it exist? It exists subjectively. It does not exist objectively. There's no objective self, there's a subjective self. That subjective self is the one who is analyzing whether self exists objectively or subjectively. Okay.
What was the last sentence?
Okay. Say the self does exist.
Yes.
The self exists subjectively. Everything exists subjectively. So there's a subjectively existing self. So this subjectively existent self is the one who is analyzing if the self exists objectively or subjectively. Yeah. Okay, so we have several things to cover. Now, let's say that, okay, so the moment we realize that everything's projected by your own mind, then what happens that project by own mind, from the object there's nothing there. From the object there's nothing there. That experiences ultimate analysis. When I body in this ultimate analysis, then what happens? Your projection stops. Your projection stops in that experience. You getting it? Your projection stops. In other words, ignorance stops. When your mind switches to ultimate analysis, from the ultimate, nothing's really there. Objectively, nothing's there. When you realize this, then your mind has switched from the ignorance to the wisdom. Ignorance is the one which is projecting things. And then your mind stops projecting. The moment your mind stops projecting with respect to you, everything stops with respect to you. But everything is operating where? Outside your experience. Outside your experiencing everything. With respect to you, the projection stops. Because the projection stops, there's nothing there from the object to disturb you. That is when your mind stops. Your mind rests. Because there's nothing there good to excite you, bad to demoralize you. There's nothing there to trigger any agitation, irritation, so forth. It stops. That is the total freedom. You are not affected by any external factors. There is a point you are freed. That experience. So that experience where you are freed is in the experience of the emptiness, in the experience of ultimate analysis. Okay, so this experience, wow, it's amazing. Now there's nothing there which can disturb me. All disturbance stops. Disturbance stops. What's the opposite of disturbance? Peace. What's the opposite of disturbance? Peace. Absolute peace comes to you. And this disturbance stopped because nothing's really there from the object. This is not what your mind is exaggerating. It's a reality that you've discovered. Because the reality that you've discovered, the reality remains true eternally. Whereas if it is your exaggeration, if it is your reification, then the moment you stop reificating, again the things come back. Because it's a reality. It's a reality. Now you are discovering this reality. As long as you stay in this experience, nothing can affect you. Nothing can affect your mind. So all the disturbance dissolve in this experience. This is known as absolute peace. Okay, we continue reading this stanza. I'll read this for you. You just see. In dependent origination, there's no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. All these phenomena in this experience, everything dissolves. Ceasing, arising, annihilation, permanence, coming, going, separateness, oneness, they all dissolve in this experience. So these things cannot affect you anymore. So that is a prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among teachers, the one who taught this peace, where all these 8 categories are dissolved, and then your mental disturbance stops and the peace is generated. This peace, acute peace, which is freed of elaborations. What elaborations? Elaborations of ceasing, arising, oneness, differentness, coming, going, permanence, annihilation. All these elaborations stop, and then a very profound peace comes into you. This peace on the planet Earth, who taught this peace? It is the Buddha. So what we are seeking is we are seeking the absolute peace, and on this earth there was only one teacher who taught this, Buddha Shakyamuni, on this earth. So therefore he is the supreme of all the teachers. Okay, it says, I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. Okay, this stanza is so precious, so precious. Now the next job is, once you realize this, amazing. So our job is to try to stay in this experience. Stay in this experience. But our mind cannot stay in this experience. So our mind cannot stay in this experience. So how to make this mind stay in this experience? This mind needs stability. For that matter, we need shamatha practice. So shamatha practice is like the container to hold the water in the air. So without water, container is not really meaningful. Container is meaningful if the water is there. What is that water? Emptiness concept, which is so precious. Shamatha. Now with this experience of the emptiness, how you're going to utilize this experience to cleanse your self-grasping ignorance, or self-grasping ignorance plus the subtle stains. When self-grasping ignorance is removed, then the